So hey everyone, in this video I'm providing a sneak peek on an upcoming OBS feature that a few of you might be interested in. I'm excited about it, so I want to share the state of it at the moment. A lot of people have been asking, how do I publish from OBS directly to VDO.Ninja without having to open the browser or use a virtual camera? The thought process, I think, is reduce CPU usage and streamline the user flow. And that might be possible in the next version of OBS. It's available now on a custom development build that includes the feature. We'll take a look at that, and in short order, it might be available in the OBS 29 beta. We'll see. So this is the development build of OBS 29 beta that includes this functionality. We can go to settings and we can see that there's a new service from the drop-down menu called WIP. So WIP is a standard proposed by a couple really awesome WebRTC devs a couple of years ago, I guess now, that makes a standard for WebRTC that's similar to what everyone's familiar with, and that is RTMP. So you have a publishing URL and you have a stream token, stream ID that you use to identify the stream. That's pretty much it. So you get the benefits of WebRTC, which is what the WIP standard is standardizing in this case, and that includes low latency, so under a second publishing, and you get dynamic bit rates. Potentially, it depends on the client, but potentially it means the bit rates will vary to match your network conditions. If you have more bandwidth, you can make use of it, and if you have problems, it will shrink the bandwidth used, and that helps you maintain low latency. You don't have to buffer your video 3, 4, 5 seconds out if you're on an unstable connection. You can have it be elastic. Now that has some downsides, of course. If the connection's changing and varying, your quality will vary as you publish. So RTMP has the buffering capabilities, where WebRTC is really focused on that ultra low latency, but the quality might vary a bit. You also get the option potentially, again, this depends on the client, to vary the resolution and the frame rate. So if you want to maintain a high resolution, you can fluctuate the frame rate, or you could drop the resolution if you're having a problem and keep the frame rate high. VDO.Ninja includes those features, but once you move into something like OBS, it really depends on what's publishing and pushing that video source out. So if you're using FFmpeg as the source, FFmpeg needs to be smart enough to, adapt to the quality of your network. I added support for this to VDO.Ninja a few days ago, and I've been trying to work out some of the hiccups. There's going to be hiccups in this example, but I have an address called WIP.VDO.Ninja, and just like RTMP, we have a stream token, Steve123, and in the output settings under the streaming, you can just see what I have here, but I have software encoding, constant bit rate 2 megabits, a keyframe interval of 2 seconds, high quality baseline profile, 0 latency on the tuning. Okay, and now I haven't started streaming yet, so let's bring over the browser. So we're going to go to VDO.Ninja. I have this functionality on alpha. It's not on production yet. And we're going to go WIP equals Steve123. The page loads, and just like view equals Steve123, I've told the system that I'm listening for this stream token to arise. Now, just like with RTMP, when you publish, it expects an automatic and instant acceptance. Otherwise, OBS will time out saying could not publish to destination timeout. Which means if you don't have the browser open, ready to accept the stream, it's going to time out. You can't join after the publishing starts. You have to be on before the publishing starts. Otherwise, it's going to time out, okay? Which is a problem, because let's say you are at the menu page and then the person goes live. What do I do as a developer? Like, I have to accept that stream. So at this point, I don't ignore the message. I accept it, even though we're not live yet. So I'll give you an example. Start streaming. Boom. So now I am live in VDO.Ninja, and the menu has been replaced with my video. The latency is as you'd expect for VDO.Ninja, very, very low latency. And we have all the functionalities you kind of would expect. So I can even hold control on my keyboard, click on the video, and see the stats. So we can see what's going on here. Let me get rid of this little preview of myself, and we see that publishing at 2,500 kilobits, or roughly about we're doing a direct peer-to-peer connection. Buffer delay is 33 milliseconds, which is really low. Again, obviously we're on a local network. 160 kilobits per second, which is I have this on top. Let's go there. The output, the audio is 160. So it's kind of matching the settings that I put into OBS. We're publishing with Opus. 720 H.264, 30 frames a second. Right? Pretty cool. Now, I don't really hide the menu bar. I don't really know what to do at this point because you haven't really configured it in any way. Which is a problem. And if you reload the page, right, I need a way to sort of handle kind of retry. So I suppose what I'll be doing is, if you reload the page, I'll try to communicate with OBS. OBS needs to essentially retry on its own to republish the video, rather than just kind of timing out. So I need to work with this a little bit more to make it so if you reload the page, hopefully it restarts. But at the moment, it means if you lose the connection, you have to restart the stream. So that's something that's different than VDO.Ninja normally is, where if you restart it, automatically restarts the stream as well. But let's say you join the room as a director. Now, if you're familiar with the director room, we have these control boxes, and I'll start the stream again. And as we see, I now load as a guest in the room. The problem here is if I take the view link and I put it into a tab as you normally would, it's saying Steve equals 1 to 3 view. That's not a WIP URL. But more importantly, even if I did change this to WIP and I loaded it, it wouldn't do anything. And the reason for that is OBS is only publishing one video stream out. So that means you only have one viewer. And in this case, it's the director. And unless this OBS plugin supports multiple viewers, which is kind of unlikely. It's kind of first come, first serve. So what I could do is I can get rid of that, and I can say view just view something random. I stop the stream, and then I start the stream. It's not going to work. Maybe scene. Start, stop. There we go. So I created just a fake scene link in essence, and I use whip equals Steve123. Now I have a view, like a view page. So I can now view this video full screen, and yeah, I can use this within OBS as I need to, etc. If you reload it, you need to start streaming again at the moment. Hopefully I can fix that. But this is a clean output that you can then share with someone. But it means only one viewer per OBS stream. You get the stats, and you get all the functionality that VDO.Ninja offers, like you can record the stream to disk, right? So now I'm recording it. I can change the audio destination. I can do a lot of fun things with it now. But it's only one viewer, so you can't really publish this into a room for a lot of people to see. Not directly from OBS to VDO.Ninja. Now there is a solution still, though, and that is Meshcast. Meshcast is a server. So when you publish to Meshcast, it automatically accepts the stream because it's always online. And at any time, you can view it as you would normally. And because Meshcast is supported by VDO.Ninja, VDO.Ninja supports but both publishing to Meshcast. It also supports Meshcast supports ingestion over WIP. It's essentially trying to be a universal kind of system. You can publish to Meshcast, and then you can ingest from Meshcast into VDO.Ninja. I designed Meshcast to be compatible with WIP. So right now the viewing component is not, there is no standard that's really included yet in VDO.Ninja, but that will come soon enough where you'll be able to both publish to a server that's WIP compatible, and there's a new standard called WEEP, W-H-E-P, that will let you view. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, but the notion there is you'll be able to publish from OBS into any server and ingest that into VDO.Ninja using standards. So any sort of distribution system that supports the standard will be supported by VDO.Ninja to some extent. Now, to publish to Meshcast, it's not available yet to the public, but the notion is I have a development server in the US at meshcast.io. You put in your stream token here, and you go live. I don't have the server up at the moment, but it will accept the stream, listen to it, and go and work. I have it working. I have a problem with Meshcast at the moment with OBS, and that is that I get a lot of lost frames and choppiness. So it's not very smooth. I don't know if that is a problem with Meshcast or whether that's a problem with it communicating with OBS and the X264 codec, but it's having problems. So once I get those problems up, I'll push that functionality to all Meshcast servers. So you can publish to Meshcast directly, get your Meshcast URL, and then you can share that into VDO.Ninja. And once I have the official WIP support for VDO.Ninja available, you can just kind of enter your WIP URLs and do things that way. So that's what I'll be working on probably over the next month as I kind of mature this out, is try to figure out how to incorporate WIP sources. So servers, but also pushed WIP sources from OBS, and also I guess is WEEP sources from servers. Okay. Now, again, some people have been asking about hardware encoding. I just want to demonstrate that if I go to output, I select NVEnc, I kind of leave this there, maybe set keyframes too. So we're all familiar with NVEnc. I think that's all the defaults. We'll go to stream again. We'll also enter WIP.VDO.Ninja again. We'll use this stream token and apply. Let's open up the browser again. We'll go to video alpha WIP, enter our URL. We're now loaded and waiting for the stream to arrive. We hit start streaming. And we see that nothing's loading. And the reason for this, in my opinion, is the H.264 profile that NVEnc is publishing isn't compatible with WebRTC. WebRTC is very specific on the type of video it will accept because of its dynamic nature. So that is a little bit of a fail. But we can go in and we can tinker with it. Profile, we set to baseline. Let's do single pass, tuning, ultra low latency. Let's do best quality. Keyframes to let's try this now, okay? So we've customized it. And I'll open it up. I'll just reload the page just to make sure. I'll pin it so we can shoot. 1 second. Pin. Oh, you're not going to pin. Okay, there we go. A little pinning app. Put it there. Now I'll hit start streaming. And I haven't figured out how to make this work yet. So despite selecting options that I think would work, it doesn't work yet. Okay, so that's a little disappointing. The stream seems to be publishing. If we look at the OBS settings on the bottom right, it says 2500. The browser just doesn't know how to interpret that stream. In the future, AV1, VP9, VP8, these other codecs might be better than H.264. So I would personally love to publish AV1 hardware encoding using a NVIDIA 4000 series GPU, for example. That's going to take some time, but that would give me ultra high quality with relatively low bandwidth relative to H.264. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I don't have too much else to add. Hardware encoding is a little bit iffy right now. I'm sure it will work. Future codexes like AV1 are interesting to me. I'm far more interested on seeing that supported down the road. And VDO.Ninja itself has some issues. I don't really feel like what we have seen so far is really intended for peer-to-peer in the way VDO.Ninja works, but I'll do my best to support the functionality. I suspect Meshcast might be more interesting to people, and I'm investing more time into Meshcast. And for those who want to do your own thing, there's quite a few open source projects out there similar to Meshcast, which will also support this method, I'm sure. So we'll see. It's a pretty exciting future, and I'm doing my best to make it better, guys. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the sneak peek. And again, thank you to the developers for, of both WIP and this addition of WIP to OBS. Thanks a lot. Bye.